Ayo, back at it again with another video. Thank you all for watching. I greatly appreciate it. So, gonna start a series on the channel, voting history by state. So, some states have been around longer. Massachusetts is one of the original 13 colonies, 13 states, and then the country's grown into 50 states. So some states have been around for a long time, some states are relatively new, and yeah. So we're going to do some voting history by state. We're going to start with Massachusetts because I find this interesting. We got Washington, Lincoln, and then we're going to go through the rest of Massachusetts. So we got this pulled up, presidential election by state. Alright, so Massachusetts. Alright, voted for George Washington, the election in 1796. Voted for, I think it's Adams, was a Federalist in that scenario. 1800, 1804. I think that's Jefferson. Yeah, Jefferson won in 1804. 3 Federalists in a row voted for who was the winner of the 1820 election? Was that Quincy Adams? I think so. No, it couldn't have been. 24 was Adams. Interesting. So keep going. And then for a long time there, from 1856 through 1908, was solidly Republican. So we got Lincoln in 1860, Lincoln again in 64, Grant 68, 72. Keep going. You got Grover Cleveland in here, Benjamin Harrison, McKinley, and then Teddy, Taft. 1912, looks like they voted Democrat. First time they voted Democrat ever since 1820, Democrat Republicans. Obviously the election in 1912 was Woodrow Wilson, Democratic nominee, versus Taft, the Republican incumbent president, and Teddy ran as Bull Moose. So 1916, Massachusetts voted for Charles Evan Hughes. 1920, Massachusetts voted for Harding. 24, Coolidge. 28, it voted for, I think it was Al Smith, I think was 28 for the Democrats. And then 32, 36, 40, 44 for FDR. Voted for Truman, 48, 52, 56 for Eisenhower, 60 for Kennedy, 64 for Lyndon Johnson, 68, 72 voted Democrat, 76 for Carter voted Democrat, went to Reagan in 80 and 84, and has been Democrat ever since. We got Dukakis in 1988, Clinton, Gore, Kerry, Obama, Clinton, and then Joe Biden in 2020. So Massachusetts president voted for President Biden, for President Obama, President Clinton, for President Reagan, President Carter, President Kennedy, President Johnson, President Eisenhower, President Truman, President Franklin Roosevelt. For one time they voted for President Woodrow Wilson, but voted for... So they did vote for both Teddys. Not Teddy, both Teddys, both Roosevelts. You got Teddy and Franklin. No, not both Teddys. McKinley, you got Lincoln, Grant, voted for Washington also, which is pretty interesting. So, voting history by state for Massachusetts: Washington, Lincoln, both Roosevelts. Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson, and then most Democratic presidents since. You got Reagan in there as well. So voting history by the state of Massachusetts is very interesting. So that is the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.